Every day isn't shining like today. Beauty rising, I can say I have seen.
March 21, 2026. Hi, my name is Shannyn. For those who don't know me, welcome to my channel. God has led me to do a video every day this year. And today I felt to share with you 3 personal experiences that I've had to do with being delivered. One was from a stronghold and 2 of them were from emotions. All 3 of them happened at the beginning of my Christian walk. I'll talk about the first one. I was on my bed and I can't remember what I was doing or saying. I'm sure I would have journaled it back then. I specifically remember having this feeling inside of me. I always get it where my stomach is. It's like a ball, a fullness, and then I had like an emotional, deep cry that kind of came out of nowhere, and I felt this ball leave me. So I believe it was a deliverance from particular emotions, whether that was grief or brokenness. I was going through a really tough time in my life at that stage, and I worked in the admin at church and went to church to work the next day, and my pastor's wife said to me, I didn't say anything to her, and she said to me, "You look different today." And I knew that I felt different. I felt freer. The second time was during a pretty traumatic event, actually. How do I say this? Not sure how to explain this, but something was happening to me that shouldn't be happening to me. I was at the hands of someone who was hurting me, and both of us had been drinking that particular night, and I remember in the middle of it all I had this, I can't explain it exactly again, but it was like this, I felt something leave me up here, left me that way, and I heard the words spirit of alcoholism. And I knew that I was delivered of alcoholism. Not that I was a heavy drinker, but I was a heavy habit drinker. It was an every night thing. And I couldn't drink copious amounts, but I was drinking to a point of drunkenness every night. And after that particular thing happened, I couldn't drink. I just lost all interest to drink, which was a miracle. But I do remember, I'm not sure if it was a couple of weeks later, I decided to have, excuse my voice, I decided to have a can of rum. I wasn't craving it, I guess I just wanted to drink one for old time's sake. Silly move, really. So I drank the can of rum, didn't think anything of it, and didn't have another one. And I think about half an hour later I went upstairs to sit down on my bed and read the Bible, and as soon as I opened the Bible I got so sick. I knew I was going to vomit, and I knew if I didn't get up now and run I was going to be in trouble. So I didn't even make it to the toilet, but it was just like this projectile straight into the bowl of the toilet as my head was coming down, and I thought, and it was black, and I thought, what on earth? I'd forgotten that I'd had a can of rum, and I just thought that was really crazy. Yes, so, and the third one happened in church. No one was praying for me. The service had ended, but I was sitting at the front of the church, and all of a sudden out of my mouth came this, like a wail, like, oh, and it was loud, it had a will of its own, and I didn't know what was going on. But my church, they didn't even bat an eyelid. They were used to these kinds of things happening. And then the ladies ran over and they put their hands on me and prayed, and I believe I was delivered of grief, because again I was going through a really horrific time, and I was just so grieved that things weren't turning out the way that I had hoped. All 3 of those events have always stayed with me. I was forever changed from them and delivered and set free. And I think God is marvellous, and he can do the same for you. I do know that in that period I was reading the Word every day and praying in tongues every day. I was reading a chapter from the Old Testament, from Psalms or Proverbs, as well as the New Testament every day. He delivered me from so many things during that time, and he still is. In another video I've done before, I just don't recognise myself, how far God has brought me. So that's it for today. That's my testimony, and I'll leave it at that, and I will see you in another video sometime soon.
Okay, let's go.